And now, it's time for Comfort Time Live. Comfort Time Live. Comfort Time Live is a call-in show where you can call in and discuss air conditioning, heating, energy savings, indoor air quality, and dealing with contractors. Comfort Time Live. And now, here's your host, your personal comfort consultant, tackling all of your home comfort issues. Here he is, live on your radio, Tom Platania.
Hey, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Comfort Time Live. I'm Tom Platania, your host, and it is an incredibly beautiful day. So I'm not going to keep you too long on the radio so you can go out and start enjoying the sunshine and the beautiful weather. Sorry, that was my production manager here in the studio.
Hey, don't blame it on me.
No, the voice. I just didn't push my buttons. All right, well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Comfort Time Live is a talk show, as you heard, regarding anything to do with your home. We've had folks on the show from taxes to real estate and anything you can think of in between. The show is here to educate you, here to provide information for the questions that you have pondered, that you've done your best to find the answers, but you weren't quite able to. So you can log into Comfort Time Live and see what you can find. Pretty much anything you can think of. We've logged on you log into ComfortTimeLive.com, and on the left-hand side, you can see all kinds of different things, such as AC 101. Maybe you want to learn a little bit about how air conditioning works. Talking about energy savings. We have multiple links to Florida Power and Light websites. Anything you can think of. Talking about their energy savings programs, their rebate programs. Talks about how to purchase an air conditioning properly. And also there's archives. There's archives going on from every show just about that I've ever done. And if you can think about it, just go through, scroll down. I've also, as promised last time, I don't know if you know, last weekend we had a show dedicated to my father who just passed away on February 5th. And what I did is I actually created a web page specifically for him. So when you go to ComfortTimeLive.com, as soon as you log in, you're going to see a big blue link that says Tribute to Thomas Vincent Platania Sr. When you click on that, you're going to go to a page. It's got multiple pictures in it. It's a constant work in progress because I have all type of folks who he was near and dear to that constantly send me pictures. I'm going to continually add pictures there. I've also posted up just a small amount of his paintings. Incredibly talented painter. And as I continue, I'm going down to Miami again this weekend to continually take care of his estate. Unfortunately, I'm going to be picking up his remains and stuff today too. But I'm going to go down and grab some of his paintings, take pictures of them. We're going to put them back up on the website so we can kind of dedicate it to my dad. But anything, you can go in there. You can look a little bit about me. You can there's a page about frequently asked questions, FAQ. Click on that. Maybe you will find some of the questions that you've been looking for. You know, a contractor comes into your house and he tells you things. How do you know if he's telling you the truth or not? Well, you either have to do your research or you can take a chance. And nowadays, taking chances with contractors is just not the right thing to do, because once you take that chance, there are many laws that could be against you that you may never get your money back, such as what we're going to talk about today is the most recent updates on unlicensed contractor activity and what some of the municipalities and state is doing to help stop that from happening. There's a page about Chinese drywall. You can go in there and watch multiple videos about that. You can actually click on the link that says contractors. That's going to bring you to reporting unlicensed activity through the Department of Business and Professional Regulations, or to check to see if someone has a valid license. We're also going to go through that. We actually found, with the help of a local municipality, we found 20-some quote-unquote contractors on Craigslist that were posting services and whatnot. And we'll get into that. You're going to see some funny stuff, but some things that are going to send up some red flags for you, to know that you really don't want to hire them, that you're going to put yourself in a position. So ComfortTimeLive.com is the place to go. Even if you don't want to watch, you can still go there at your convenience and look up all kinds of information. Maybe you want to listen to the show about taxes. When you want to hear about things talking about the tax credit, maybe you filed for your tax credit for heating and air conditioning last year, and you want to make sure that you do it properly, you can listen to H&R Block, who was on the show, talking about how to file those taxes properly just for that rebate. Now, that rebate does not exist anymore in 2012. It has gone away. 2009 and 2010, it was $1,500. It was reduced to $300 in 2011, and now they've completely gone away with it, which a little bit disappointed. But remember, when you go to Comfort Time Live, please sign the guest book at the bottom so that we know we stopped by. You do not have to put any information in there, just your name. Don't even have to put your email address if you don't want to. I promise that I will not solicit you at all except to say, hey, thanks. I appreciate it. So the topic today, we're going to be talking about unlicensed contractor activity, but something that kind of helped boost my spirits after the rough week or two that I've had. I was just sitting at Panera Bread having a cup of coffee, killing time in between some appointments, and just happened to pull up my iPad and just kind of glancing, as I do frequently. I kind of go through Monster.com and I go through Career Builder.
That's what an iPad is for.
And I just
grab it every now and again.
Yeah, and I just
see what's going on.
I skim through the job posting just to see, what's going on in the community, what type of people are hiring. There might be some opportunity for some consulting if I see that there's a company. And I just happened to see a company called Medvance was hiring for an HVAC instructor. So I was kind of puzzled because the name of the organization was Medvance. It's a medical training facility. So I started doing some research. I said, well, okay, maybe I'm misreading it, right? But I'm going to throw my resume in there and see what's going on. I was for a part-time position. 15 minutes later, I get a phone call. The next day, I'm in the office, and I was hired part-time in the evening as a professional instructor of heating and air conditioning students right here in Port St. Lucie. So I officially started as an instructor on Monday. So that was kind of a little, I needed that little boost after the past week or so. So that helped me out. I'm really, really excited. So I'm going to be actually teaching young students the proper way, like I try to do here on Comfort Time Live, the proper way to get into the industry, the right things to do. So I'm really, the whole full circle of what I started to do with Comfort Time Live is, number one, educate the listeners. Number two, now I'm going to be able to educate these guys from scratch before they get into field and get ruined by, it's sometimes they say it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. Well, if we can teach that before they get out there and learn those bad things. So I'm really excited about that. Some absolutely great people. And Medvance is actually going to be expanding a bunch of other things, but they have an HVAC school for folks who want to learn to get into the trade. It's a 15-month program, very detailed, lots of books. I'm going to be starting off teaching math for the trades, and also be teaching the thermodynamics, which is a big word, but it's just basically the beginning ideas of air conditioning, the concepts of air conditioning, what it is. The kids looked at that thermodynamic word and they're like, oh my God, I'm going to be learning some kind of astrophysics or something.
Yeah, I thought I was going to be putting in air conditioning.
I thought I was just going to be plugging some wires in. No, but But a lot of information, so I'm really, really excited about that. And that's really going to help me provide information on the show, too, as I'm going through that. Because I constantly have my nose in a book. And now there's a really good reason for me to have my nose in a book because, having my lesson plans and things of that nature to get prepared for the classes. And I'll be doing those Monday through Thursday. It's going to be a tough day, though, because it's 5:30 to 10:30. So I got to work my whole entire day doing what I do and then go teach class from 5:30 to 10:30. But you know what? It's going to help keep my mind occupied because when I sit around, I just start thinking about things that really bog your mind down, like my dad going.
And there's a lot of things to think about these days. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to be a great thing. It's going to be a great thing. Now, this week what we did is we actually started with the Treasure Coast Builders Association. We had our first official meeting for the new Trades Council. And I want to say new because it was actually established back before the hurricanes. But after the hurricanes, they kind of shut it down.
Were they a bit busy?
It wasn't that they were busy. It was because the Treasure Coast Builder Association was so involved with just building contractors. And after the hurricane, building went away. There was no new construction. They were just fixing everything up.
Yeah.
So they lost a huge amount of their people that are part of the organization. That word escapes me right now.
Membership?
There you go. Sounds like 2 syllables, 3 syllables. Yeah. They lost a lot of their membership because of that. Well, because of that, the Trades Council just didn't have anybody left, so they kind of went away with it, focused on Treasure Coast Builder Association. Well, now things are coming back, a little bit of new construction, but also we're kind of focusing in a more different direction with retrofits, replacement, remodeling, rebuilding, and things like that, not just strictly new construction. So folks who are in the heating and air conditioning industry, the plumbing industry, electrical industry, maybe you don't do new construction. Doesn't matter anymore. The trades councils are there to help focus more on the trades. When you go to the Treasure Coast Builders Association, you go to a lot of their meetings, which is kind of more of a networking. There's everybody there, from bankers to private investigators.
Yeah, it's building start to finish.
That's it. That is it. So with the Trades Council, that's going to allow us the opportunity to just have the trades in the room and to focus on their specific needs. And one of those big specific needs is unlicensed activity in the Treasure Coast area.
Do they address issues like maybe permitting and how things flow through the cities?
Yeah, they do address that, which is kind of a secondary topic to the unlicensed activity because you can't pull a permit if you don't have a license. So, but there are things that certain municipalities are doing to find people who aren't pulling permits. Like Joel Dramis, the building inspector, was at our meeting on Wednesday. We had which is just, it just shows that they're willing to help make the change. Some of the names mentioned that we had in our meeting Wednesday night at the Treasure Coast Building Association was Larry Massing, the Martin County Building Department, Scott Brewer from the Martin County Building Department. There was one other young lady there from the building department, and I don't have her name listed here, but we had Joel Dramis from Port St. Lucie, Wayne Esseltine from City of Sebastian, Mark Myers from Fort Pierce, and we had then we had a bunch of other people from the construction industry there with us. So a lot of the municipalities showed up to give us input as to what they're doing, what struggles that they're coming up against, and what we can do as the Trades Council for the Treasure Coast Builder Association, what we can do to help them. And the number one thing, and it just puts a smile on my face because I started that 3 years ago when I started the show, the number one thing was to educate the consumer. And that's unanimous. Everybody said that. What's the number one thing that you think would work for us to help get rid of unlicensed activity? Because if you think about it, if you don't sign or you don't agree to pay the contractor, the unlicensed contractor, he has no business. So it's got to start there. And if we educate you, and some of the things we talked about is there has to be a pain involved for you to realize that if you do hire him, what's going to happen to you as the homeowner? Well, if there's no, and I hate to use the word pain, but
Well,
that's what.
it's that old saying, keeping the legitimate people legitimate. It's
Yeah.
a rule that, it's like they say, locks keep honest people honest. It's kind of like the same type of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
You the homeowner, you have the problem that you need fixed. Here's what you're supposed to do, and if you don't, you're the person we're going to come after.
Right, and the issue is that a lot of people, one, the people who love to circumvent the system, some of them really don't realize how in depth the fines and penalties and ramifications that they can have. They don't realize it. And because they don't realize it, there was a condo association that was just excitingly passing this gentleman's name around as someone to help them do pretty much anything they needed.
Mm-hmm.
He was unlicensed. Well, the condo association was like, but he's so much cheaper than everybody else. Well, okay, give us a for instance. And it only came down to
The cost of the permit.
$150, $200 more generalized per instance. But the fines, the legalities, this guy comes through and falls, and we'll go through all that in just a minute, but when these people truly, the consumers truly understand how detailed and how much it could cost them in the long run, I'm hoping that a lot of people stop and think twice before doing it. Now there's some legitimate contractors out there that don't do things because they figure, well, if I do it 50 times and I only get caught once, well, I've saved myself 49 times 80, okay, and I only had to pay a $300 fine. So some of these people out there, but that's why we talk about unlicensed and less than honest licensed contractors, because they're both out there and no one is better than the other. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about some more details of what Port St. Lucie, City of Port St. Lucie, is doing to help with unlicensed contractors. And then we're also going to talk about what the State Air Conditioning Contractor Association is doing to help you folks out. You're listening to Cover Time Live. I'm Tom Platania, and we'll be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Tom Platania. Welcome back to Comfort Time Live. 340-1590 is the number to call here in the studio if you have questions, comments, suggestions. 340-1590. Give us a call. Any topic you can think of, we'll do our best to get you an answer. If I don't have it, then I will find someone who does. Now, going to be coming up on the show in a couple weeks, we are going to have Win Home Inspections coming on the show to talk to you about the benefits of what you can do about having a home inspection, a 4-point inspection, wind mitigation inspection, and the different things that that you can do to help save yourself some money on your insurance. If you've made any changes, even if your house is fairly new and you've made any minor changes, perhaps new doors, new windows, maybe different shutters, a lot of those things may be able to provide additional discounts on your homeowner's insurance. Now, some of your homeowners insurance companies are not going to write you a letter and say, hey, Veronica, by the way, I could save you $500 a year. That's $500 less out of my pocket if you just have a wind mitigation
Well, I have a
inspection.
story for you there. I
Oh,
did
yeah.
mine. I did my mitigation and did really well on my house, and my insurance was all peachy keen. This year, the insurance company sent their own inspector, and my insurance doubled.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. So what's the difference between the first inspection and the second inspection is basically they just don't want to give me the discount.
Yeah, it's
Because it's the same house, same location, same shutters, same
and
everything.
who was that inspector working for?
The insurance company.
Yeah, there
How do you win?
go.
You don't.
You have to find a neutral party.
Now I'm going to find a new insurance company. That's
Is it-
basically what's going to
and
happen.
it's good. That's going to be tough because,
Yeah.
and that's why a lot of these companies now, it's like they got you because
It is a gotcha situation.
because there's
They
a
really
lot of
do.
other companies that will not. All states shut down. State Farm, they are not taking any new clients.
Right. Mhm.
I mean, they told me if you drop your insurance, you need to go with renter's insurance or something like that. If you drop your insurance and you buy a house, we will not take you back. We're not taking any new clients. So it's horrible.
That and the your mortgage company wants you to be completely insured too.
Oh,
No
absolutely.
matter how much you owe them,
And that's
they
why the
want
insurance
complete
companies got you.
replacement coverage on your
Yeah.
house. So they and then they're dictating also how much coverage you need to carry.
And somebody
So-
was telling me that now they're looking at the rebuilding price. I think it was you telling
Exactly.
me.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
what it is.
Yeah, the rebuild price, not what the house
Yeah.
is value now. The
no,
rebuild
It's
price.
right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
which is and right now in this economy, it's a lot more than what the house
but
is
you
worth.
know, I guess you'd probably have to have a full blown fire and burn it to the ground in order to ever use that coverage.
Well, if you went on
Yeah.
Craigslist,
It happens.
If you went on
You
Craigslist,
can get a little discount there.
no, you could probably find somebody to burn it down.
Oh, yeah. No, thank you. That's all right.
But it's tough. So when inspection is going to be on, they're going to be talking about that.
Well, hopefully they can clarify what's going on with it.
Yeah, we're going to make
that's
sure
great.
that they do. And
Mhm.
I tell you, in anything, we talk about on Cover Time Live, find a neutral party. Now, they have, I mean, I don't know the details on that, and I'm hoping Wynn can give us the information. I would find it hard to believe that they could hire their own company who they're paying the bill for, and that they give you a different report than this other guy. I'd want to find out what the difference is.
Here's the rule. The rule it's a bad rule. If they don't if one of your shutters does not have the correct stamp in the metal,
Right.
you lose it all.
For every shutter.
If you have one window that you don't cover,
You lose it
you
all.
lose it all.
Ah.
So that's the problem there.
All right. Well, I think we're going to be going to a news break real quick. All right. You're listening to Cover Time Live. We're going to listen to the news, and you'll be right back. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Tom Platania. 340-1590 is the number to call. Questions, comments, suggestions. We're going to be doing a trivia giveaway here in just a few minutes, so I want you to get your pen and paper out. I'm also going to give you some phone numbers here for all the municipalities and your hotlines for unlicensed or activity. Perhaps the company is licensed, but they're not pulling permits, and you notice that there's no permit posted. So you're going to get your pen and paper out, and when you hear the name of the county that you're in, make sure you write down that phone number. But we're going to do a trivia question here. And for the winner of the trivia question, sponsored by Ranger Air Conditioning. Ranger Air Conditioning has been on the Treasure Coast for over 38 years, located in Hope Sound. But they go all the way up to Fort Pierce, Vero Beach, and all the way down to West Palm. There's no area in between that they won't cover, or no client that they will not give the best possible service to. They take care of heating and air conditioning, service, maintenance, repair. They do new construction. They have yearly maintenance agreements to help you keep that heating and air conditioning system in tip-top condition. Now, even though that air conditioner is still, you hear the fan running and you think you hear the compressor running, does not mean it's running at the optimum efficiency it can, and it could be costing you 2 to 3 times more to run every single day than what it should. So have a maintenance done on your system at least once a year. In South Florida, because of the amount of hours most of us run our heating and air conditioning systems, I strongly recommend that you have it done twice a year to have it properly maintained. So get those pen and papers out. 340-1590 is the number to call, and you're going to win a one-time tune-up on your heating and air conditioning system. Now, it's one system, so if you have multiple systems in your house, it's only eligible for one system if you win this. And you can call us at 340-1590. In retrospect of me getting my new position, part-time position at the MedVance Institute as an instructor for heating and air conditioning, I'll do a little, I guess, math you would call it. We're going to talk about prefixes used for the metric system. Okay? So, the first question for your one-time heating and air conditioning tune-up on your air conditioning system, compliments of Ranger Air Conditioning, 340-1590. What prefix do you use to signify 1,000 metric units? What prefix do you use to signify 1,000 metric units? 340-1590. I think Lynette is waiting for your phone call. She'll pass it on to us here in the studio. And that'll be for your one-time heating and air conditioning tune-up by Ranger Air Conditioning. And now is the time to do it because the days are getting hotter and hotter again. We're getting a few cool temperatures here and there, but get that thing checked out before it gets too hot out. All right, now, some of these numbers that you're going to want to write down for unlicensed contractor activity. Now, City of Port St. Lucie actually has right now 4 full-time licensing investigators. Now, I'm talking about City of Port St. Lucie because I have their information in front of me. I have not yet received information from the Martin County, Indian River County, or Okeechobee counties as of yet. So, City of Port St. Lucie, the investigators conduct routine investigations of work being done to determine if permits have been obtained and if those performing the work possess the proper licenses. You know, and it's kind of funny, City of Port St. Lucie had gone, and they constantly do this, they go on Craigslist and they look under the section, of course, Treasure Coast Craigslist, services offered, and under skilled trades.
Like shooting fish in a barrel?
Oh my gosh. You know, and you can kind of almost understand why they do what they do is because some of them actually are showing that they're they specifically state, here's one, let me get to the one on the page here that shows it. Here's one, it says handyman. License info, unlicensed. Ladies and gentlemen, A handyman needs a license. A guy just can't put a tool belt on and come into your house and start replacing ceiling fans and painting and doing flooring and things of that nature. They have to have a license.
Now, if I buy one at the big box store, can I change it myself at my
as
house?
a homeowner, you can.
Okay. If I need a little help, can my neighbor help me?
No.
But I'm not going to pay him.
Now you get in. Now you're going to get into.
I'm nitpicking.
You're
I know.
nitpicking. But and
I'm
that's
putting you on the spot.
But that's where you need to call the local municipality. But if it involves electrical, no, you can't. Because if something happens to her neighbor, even though she's not paying him, her neighbor can actually sue her for liability reasons. All right, so you have to be careful. There's always loopholes in the system, but as an owner-builder, you can do things on your own. But once you bring somebody else in, you are liable. So maybe there might not be a license available, but if something happens to that next-door neighbor, he can sue the pants off you.
But he likes me. We're
Doesn't
friends.
matter. Yeah, you know what? So does your buddy up the street like you. But you know what? You know, he slips and falls. What if he
So
sues
what
you?
happens like with an elderly person who has their neighbor come help them with something because they're no longer capable? Same thing?
Depends on what they're doing.
Okay.
If they're messing with something that requires a license and they're not the owner of that building,
Now, how do you know you would need a license if you're just a homeowner?
pull it up on the
and-
internet. Call your local municipality. It's very easy. With the internet today and the simple phone numbers that I'm going to give you, if you're unsure, and see that's where the law
That's how people get in trouble.
the law can be very gray in that area because specifically it states if you knowingly. But it's getting to the point now where people there's too many opportunities to educate yourself. There's shows that you can listen to like Comfort Time Live. There's internet, there's phone numbers. And for you to do something and then just use the excuse that you didn't know, that's starting to slowly go by the wayside. So you can go on any of the licensing boards, you can go on any of the municipalities, and they specifically show you, especially City of Port St. Lucie, on their website, they specifically state the things that are required to have a license. Okay, but that's just licensing. If somebody comes into your house and does something, they slip and fall, they can sue you. Why? Because you're the homeowner. You don't have any insurance to cover that. Your homeowner's insurance isn't going to cover somebody slipping and falling in your house because you're trying to do something with electrical work or air conditioning or something like that. It's not going to happen. So you have to protect yourself. So some of the phone numbers that we're going to be talking about, these are the hotlines for the different municipalities that if you noticed any unlicensed activity. Now, some of the unlicensed things you're going to look for is if you see a plain white, typically it's a white van, with no markings on it, and you notice that there's ladders and there's tools and stuff in the back, there's a good chance that that's an unlicensed activity being done. Now, you'll leave that up to, don't start doing too much research on your own to find out if that guy is licensed. Call the local municipality that you live in immediately, and they will send someone out. You can be completely anonymous. You don't have to give your name or anything. So you don't have to worry about somebody coming back against you. So here's the numbers. I'm sorry. We got young lady.
We do.
I apologize.
I sidetracked you with my questions.
Carol, I'm so sorry I kept you on hold. Please accept my sincerest apologies. Are you still there, Carol? Carol?
Yeah. No.
No. Hello.
The line is connected.
It is connected.
Yeah. Otherwise, we
Yeah,
would.
I'm here
There
now.
she is.
Hey, Carol.
Hi.
I'm so sorry for leaving you on
That's
hold.
okay. You were very interesting, and I was listening.
You're wonderful. And you sound like you have the answer to my question.
Is it Sears?
No.
What
unfortunately.
are Sears then?
Sears is SEER,
Yeah.
and what that stands for is Seasonal Energy Efficiency Ratio. In layman's terms, it's gas mileage in your car.
Oh.
And what it is air conditioning equipment has a miles per gallon rating,
So
and
it's
that's
a
and that's
rating.
SEER. That's SEER rating. So the minimum that you can install is a 13 SEER, which would be like a car that gets about 10 miles to a gallon.
And how many cubic feet would that handle?
The SEER rating has nothing to do with the
Nothing
cubic
to
feet.
do with that. See,
No,
I
that-
have
that-
no understanding of this.
What that has to do is, okay, you have a car. You have two cars.
Mm-hmm.
One car gets 10 miles to gallon. Doesn't matter how big or how small the car is, but it gets 10 miles to a gallon. I have another car that gets 40 miles to the gallon. It doesn't matter how big the car is or what the car is, but I get to point A to point B in the same amount of time, but I use less gas to get there. Okay?
I see. Oh,
Do you understand that?
I do.
Okay,
I
that's
do.
SEER rating. So I have one air conditioner that's got a 13 SEER or 10 miles per gallon. Doesn't matter how big or how small it is. I have another air conditioning system that's got 21 SEER. Okay? That's like the 40 mile per gallon car. Both air conditioning systems are going to cool the house at the same way, but the 21 SEER is going to use a lot less electricity or gas to do the same exact job. But that's what SEER stands for. And
well, thank you. And may I ask you a hypothetical question?
absolutely, Carol.
Okay, a homeowner hires someone who has a card that says licensed and insured.
Yes.
He brings a buddy to help him.
Okay.
The buddy gets hurt.
Yes.
Now, who is responsible?
Well, did you see the license number?
No, I didn't do it. It's
Okay.
someone I know.
All right. If he hires someone, he has to have a subcontractor agreement with that person. Okay, and you have to verify. Now, if that person that he brings in is not an actual employee,
Is not, definitely not.
then you could be liable.
Just a friend who came to, then the homeowner
The
can be liable?
the homeowner can be liable because
Even if the
Yes.
original person she hired?
right because if there would have to be a subcontractor agreement. Now, if there was a subcontractor
Oh, my
agreement,
goodness.
so if he's just having his buddy who's not working for him come and help him for the day, then if the contractor is insured, okay, his insurance company.
No, he has none. He completely lied, is my point.
Yeah. Then either way,
He hired him
yeah.
under false
Yeah.
pretenses.
Yeah. So if the contractor that he hired had no license and insurance, then he's liable 100%.
Okay.
Well,
that's good.
yeah. So or no. The homeowner is liable 100%.
Oh.
Yeah. So
well,
let me
how does, in that
let me
case,
let me
it's
clear
like-
this up one more time though. So he hired a contractor, and the contractor himself said that he had a license and insured.
He had a card that said.
He said, but we found out that he wasn't.
Well, only after the accident.
Okay, after the accident. So because he didn't, anything that happens in that house, the homeowner is 100% responsible.
Oh my! And their insurance will not. Her insurance would not take care of it.
They won't, because what's going to happen? Now, I can't, that's up to the insurance company, but what will happen is the insurance company is going, if they already went to validate if that contractor was licensed and insured, and they find out that he's not, then depending on how the insurance company is, they could say, well, you hired an unlicensed individual.
But he misrepresented himself. Doesn't that have any weight?
And it could, and maybe in the court of law that might, and attorneys may be able to circumvent that, but that's why it's important to verify. And we actually talked about this exact situation at our meeting on Wednesday. That
So, in other words, anybody who tells me they are licensed, I really should check and
absolutely,
make sure they are.
you want to get their number, you want their license number, you want their insurance company, and you want to physically validate it. And that's why I recommend to any of the people that I do consulting with is have a copy, an up-to-date copy of your license
With you.
and your insurance and workers' comp with you. So this way, folks who are asking the question, you don't have to research it. It's right there.
Wow.
But yeah, you have to, because that's the scam that they're getting around now. Is instead of not having a license number, they put licensed and insured, and what happens? Everybody goes, "Oh, okay, you're licensed and insured."
Yeah, that's what she
Well,
did.
when you ask to see it though, and they go to the glove box in their truck and they whip out like just this, ring binder, and they go, "See, here it is. I carry it all the time."
It'll
That
all
may
it'll all
not
be
be good
documented,
either.
but it'll specifically say on there.
What's
if
the
it's
date
an air
on it?
conditioning license, you
2008.
look at the date. Well, that's what you got.
Yeah.
You got.
Exactly.
You got. You have to look at these things. What's the date on there? Is it does it say that it's just like looking at your car insurance? Every time you look at your car insurance,
yeah.
it's the same thing, but it has an expiration date on it. Same thing with a license. It's
So
got.
I have to ask for their insurance number, the company, and look at the date.
Well, what they should show you is a copy of their declaration page and a copy of their workers' compensation or liability insurance page, and you'll know it. It'll have the name of their company. And if you're not comfortable at that time, and I never suggest rush into anything, I would make a phone call.
Yeah.
There's a number to the insurance company on there, and I would make a phone call. And even if it took you an hour to validate all this stuff, how much could that liability suit cost that homeowner?
Sure.
A
I don't know,
lot.
but I have a friend who has this problem.
A
Wow.
lot of money it can cost them. So unfortunately, there's always a way for these guys to try to circumvent it, and that's
And
the
the
one.
friend was really hurt. Wow.
Yeah, and even if he did have a license, let's say his license was legitimate, and Linda, we'll be with you in just a second, I promise. Even if he was licensed, okay, if he brought his buddy in, and he did not have a subcontractor agreement with his buddy, okay,
Yeah.
okay, then what'll happen is that guy, if that guy was hurt, the homeowner is still liable. Okay, not
So if there's a second person, you'll have to ask for a subcontractor.
if he's not an employee. And usually you're not going to find too many legitimate companies that have people working for them that are not physical employees. And if they aren't employees, that right away sends up a red flag that the guy's probably not legitimate himself.
Okay.
Now, there are companies out there, and I've seen this a lot, legitimate companies, that they get so busy, what they do have is they have other companies that are legitimate air conditioning
Yeah, they
companies
farm it out,
that
yeah.
they subcontract it out to them. But both parties are insured. There's a subcontractor agreement between them, which now holds the contractor liable. So it's unfortunately there's so many ways and loopholes, but that's why nowadays never rush into doing anything with a contractor, because even if you have to wait a couple days and suffer through a little bit of heat with an air conditioner or something, it's better than having to go through what your friend's going through right now.
Well, you've been so helpful. Thank you very
You're
much.
very welcome, Carol. Thanks for calling. All right, and Linda, I apologize for keeping you on hold, but that was some great information. We have call one. Do you have the answer for us?
I think I do. Kilo?
Yeah, there you go. Excellent, excellent. Now, how'd you come up with that answer? You just knew it?
The truth?
Yes, I want the truth and nothing but the truth.
I went to Wikipedia.
You're a good woman. You know what? That's what's the amazing thing. It's like, that's why I love to I went to college at University of Phoenix, and I love doing the online schooling, because you can always cheat.
Well,
It's not cheating. It's
Well,
not.
there are ways of getting answers to everything today.
you're not kidding.
And that's why we talk. It's just so easy to educate yourself today. Every time my daughter comes to me at home and asks me a question about something, I said, before you came to me, did you Google it?
Google is our friend.
Google it. Did you Google it? Well, absolutely wonderful, Linda. Now, I have your first and last name, and I have your phone number. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to immediately contact Ranger as soon as we're done the show. I'm going to provide the information, and most likely either Colleen or Ashley will give you a call, and at your convenience, they'll go ahead and set up that free, no-cost inspection. All
I'll
right?
tell you what, in this economy and being a single person just trying to eke out a living, it's really, this is just a real blessing this morning. I appreciate it.
You're so welcome. Now, even though Ranger is a sponsor, I tell everyone, I want you to check the company out yourself, okay, so that you have that peace of mind. All right, I'm recommending that. You go on Better Business Bureau. Don't look at the rating. Just look at how many complaints they have, because the Better Business Bureau rating's a joke. I would just look at how many complaints they have. They only have one complaint. They've been in business 30 years. Excellent company, but I always tell the listeners of the show that I want everybody to learn how to do their own research and never trust. Because trust, just like this young lady who was just talked to us, trust got her neighbor in a lot of mess. But they're great guys, great people coming out. All the technicians are great, but I want you to feel confident and comfortable as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome, dear. Have a wonderful day. Have a great weekend.
And you as well. Thanks
Thank you.
again, and I'm enjoying your show. Thank
Awesome.
you very much.
Thank you very much. All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, great stuff. That's what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we like to. You know what? I like it that we get a lot of these women calling now. I like this. I like this a lot. It goes to show me that some education out there. The guys think they're smart. These women, they look at
Yeah,
them.
they know their air conditioning stuff.
They know their stuff. They're just smart ones. The guys just they fake it till they make it or something like that.
Would you call that male ego?
No. No male ego involved.
No, not at all.
We don't have egos. All right, well, great stuff. Okay, well, here, go ahead and let's write these phone numbers down before we get to the end of the show. These are the numbers that you would want to contact first if you're dealing with the building department, any contractors. These are a hotline. If you are unsure, just like Carol's neighbor, if you are unsure about anything, okay, or if something just doesn't quite sit right, do not take a chance. Pick up the phone, and it doesn't hurt to ask the question. Or you can wait till Fridays at 11:05 and give us a call here at Comfort Time Live at 340-1590. Okay, get those pen and paper out. We're going to write them down. City of Port St. Lucie. Here's the hotline for the building department, 772-873-6373. Again, that's for the City of Port St. Lucie, 772-873-6373. Now, St. Lucie County, 772-370-2542. St. Lucie County, 772-370-2542. And we have Martin County. Martin County again, 772-288-5482. Again, Martin County, 772-288-5482. Now I have Indian River County. Indian River County, 772-226-1800. Again, Indian River County, 772-226-1800. Now, for you folks out in Okeechobee County, because we can't forget you guys, 863-763-5548. And you're going to go to extension 3002 for that one. So a lot of numbers on that number. Okeechobee County, 863-763-5548, extension 3002. Now, some of the things that we started putting together and is we're going to try to work on a database for all local municipalities that perhaps they can internally communicate with each other. Because right now, some of these contractors are getting slick, especially the unlicensed ones. I go and do illegal activities in Martin County. Maybe I get busted. I drive up to St. Lucie County. I can get busted again, but it's not listed as a second offense. Now I drive up to Indian River County and I can do work up there, but altogether it doesn't count as a second offense because there's no communication. So we're trying to set up some internal thing for communication. Treasure Coast Builders Association is going to have a home and garden show coming up here soon. Approximately 10,000 people will be walking through the door. We are creating a flyer to help educate folks about unlicensed activity and provide some phone numbers. But here's real quick. We got about a minute or so left in the show. Unlicensed activity stuff that we found on Craigslist. Here's one. Masonry contractor. 25 years of residential commercial experience. He's got a license number at the bottom. It doesn't exist in Port St. Lucie.
Oh, so that may be a license from another state for all you know, or he made it up.
Yep, that's exactly it. Here's another one. Realtors, look here. Treasure Space Coast. Max Total Home Care. License information, see above. There is no license. Okay? Do It All Handyman, Port St. Lucie. No license in Port St. Lucie. And this is from the building department. Handyman Services, Treasure Coast. Listing. No license in Port St. Lucie. Property maintenance, all this stuff. Handyman. He specifically has it stated. Unlicensed. Why would you even do that? Here's one. NJ Remodeling of the Treasure Coast. He's got a whole list of stuff and specifically says he's unlicensed. Okay. So all this stuff, painting and roofing, coating and cleaning, but they're not licensed. And it just on and on and on and on and on in Craigslist. And that's how they're finding a lot of these folks on Craigslist. So protect yourself. Write those phone numbers down. Now, if you missed any of those phone numbers, this show will automatically keep replaying until next Friday at 11:05. So just go into ComfortTimeLive.com, and there's two T's in that, ComfortTimeLive.com, all one word, and you'll be able to watch the video. And please, do me a favor, if you're listening, go ahead and take a look at my link to my father. And make me feel good that everybody had an opportunity to pay the tribute to to him, and I thank you so much. Again, thank you for listening to Comfort Time Live. I'm Tom Platania. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here next Friday at 11:05.